And there we go. We're live. We are live.
Hi.
Jen, Green,
Hey, Tina.
Grigg. Hey, Jen, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing really well. Thank you. I want to thank you for agreeing to have me interview you about what's happening in real estate at the Jersey Shore right now. Because, as everybody knows, we are in the middle of the coronavirus self isolation period. And for those of you that don't know, I am writing a book called Social Media Marketing for Realtors. And I've worked a little bit with Jen. And I thought this would be a really nice way to give some update to people that are afraid of what's happening, because we're not really hearing from the agents on the ground. We're just, really hearing national news. And of course, we need to be careful of what we're doing. So, Jen, why don't you tell everybody a little bit about yourself so they know why you are my first guest?
All right. Well, I am a local realtor in Spring Lake. Actually, I'm a broker manager of Jack Green Realty, which is a family-run business. My father is Jack Green, and we started our business in 2008, which was actually another, as we all know, during a recession. So we are well rehearsed on dealing with these type of situations. So anyways, I have had my license since 2009. And I moved to Spring Lake in about 10 years ago. And then I opened up the office in Spring Lake in 2013. So, and I'm a local realtor, and I know a lot about these local markets and the coastal towns because we live here and we have our finger on the pulse as far as what's going on.
Yes. So that's, you've been involved, you've been an agent for over 10 years now. And your
Mm-hmm.
dad was based, and you are also based out of Ocean Grove as well as Spring Lake.
Right.
Right? So,
Mm-hmm.
can you tell us what is happening right now with sales of homes? And we're going to specifically focus on Spring Lake and Ocean Grove and Asbury, because, I really do think the real estate market, it depends on where you are in the state right now. So, Jen, why don't you speak to about what's happening? Are people still buying? Are they still listing?
Yes, actually, sorry, I'm just getting a call from an agent, but we are, so prior to the coronavirus issue, we were the busiest that I know that we've ever been in the last 10 years that we've been open. So we have a lot of sales that are in the pipeline right now.
Yeah.
And the deals are holding together. This week we will have 7 closings for the company altogether. Just this week.
That's pretty good. 7 closing. And how are they handling the closings? Are people getting together? Are they doing it separately? How are you maintaining?
We're trying to have paper closings, if possible. If not, we are doing them at title companies, and people have to stay 6 feet apart from each other. And we're requesting that only the purchaser and the title company be there. So, that's how it's happening. And then they're obviously mailing the checks to whoever needs the checks mailed to. But we're trying to keep, we're aware of social distancing, and we're trying to keep that in mind during these closings.
So, Jen, how is it affecting the day-to-day life in the office? Are you still going into the office? Are the agents still going in? What's happening?
Well, fortunately, my office, all of our offices, we're trying to go paperless this year. My particular office we are up and running as a paperless office. So what I'm able to do is to go online and look at everybody's files, make sure that they have all their paperwork in order. I can assist my agents if they're wanting to put in offers. I can help them. I can go over a contract before they send it to somebody to sign. We have all electronic signatures. So the back end, the paper end, is actually working out quite well. So, so that part's fine. It's the showing houses, having houses shown. I had my home shown because I do rent it out first for seasonal rental in the summer, and we had.
So yeah. So you're still showing you still showed your house. How are the showings happening?
So with the showing of my house, the people were actually going to use me as their realtor. So they just said, we want to keep our our distance. And I agreed because it was my own home, I would just leave all the doors open.
You did.
And my family, yeah, we took the dog for a walk and we let them go through the house. I felt, that they were trustworthy people. And that's how that situation happened. We actually left the doors open so they didn't have to touch anything. I'm showing a property tomorrow.
Jen,
and,
can you look at the camera? Like,
oh,
look.
sorry. That's the part that makes me nervous.
Don't be nervous. You're doing awesome. Don't be nervous.
Oh my goodness.
Thanks for agreeing with me. Don't be nervous.
Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh, so tomorrow I am showing a property that is not my listing. The listing agent told me that the people that own the property are older, so they've decided that they're going to lock themselves in their office. I'm going to wear gloves and I'm going to bring gloves for my clients.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, just so that we're not touching. And to be fair to the people that live in the property. But I mean, I was surprised that people wanted to look at homes. So we're just trying to accommodate the people that are wanting to look at homes and kind of keep real estate moving forward.
So people are still looking at homes. There are still home showings at the Jersey Shore. I want to talk about what's happening specifically with the summer rentals, because there's been some news of late, and I can't remember the area, a local resort area is saying that no summer rentals. Do you remember? I can't remember. I'm sorry. What town?
I think there was a notification from Point Pleasant Beach. But what I interpreted that they were talking about was what's happening right now is we're having an influx of people that are coming down from Manhattan, and they're renting a lot of our seasonal rentals.
Okay, so people who are New Yorkers are still coming down and interested in renting at the shore in these areas in Spring Lake and Ocean Grove and in Asbury. Yes?
Yes.
And
yes.
Okay. So it's very active market still.
It's very active, but it's active for immediate rentals. So if I was able to move out of my house today, I would be able to rent my house 5 times over. That's how many inquiries I've had, from New Yorkers that are coming down. So what's happening is some of the towns are discouraging people renting to New Yorkers right now during this crisis. So yes, Manasquan and Point Pleasant Beach have put out notification that no longer are people allowed to rent out their homes currently, but not for the summer, for future.
Oh, for right now. So
for right now, yeah.
Okay. And the rentals that you're doing, are they for summer? They're for summer. So starting in when? When did the rentals start?
Usually summer rentals begin around May 15th, and then they go through September 15th. So we have not had any cancellations.
You had no cancellations?
No cancellations. We did, when the market first dropped, we did have one rental where they hadn't signed anything yet, but they decided not to rent. But that was a property that was renting for $120,000 for the season. So
right. So I think if you're not from the New Jersey area, New Jersey, New York area, I think it's hard for people to wrap their head around the fact that we do have summer rentals here that are in excess of $100,000 for the summer.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And some property.
If that property were to sell, it would probably sell for, $4 to $5 million. So I guess, it's all relative. So the higher end, I would say definitely the higher end rentals, have been a little bit affected, and that just might be because people were losing money in the stock market and they just decided that they weren't going to have their summer rental this year. But actually, I think we're going to have a busier summer market because people are not going to be traveling abroad internationally this summer. So I think they're going to decide.
Isn't that what happened with one of the rentals? They were going to go abroad and they decided they didn't want to do that. And so instead they wanted to extend their 2-week rental to the summer. Is that?
Yeah.
So that's happening in a lot of locations, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think for our immediate area right now, things are a little bit slower, but I think once we recover, we're going to be very busy with sales and with summer rentals, seasonal rentals.
It's really surprising to, hear when I talked to you the other day, I was really surprised to learn that nobody was canceling their summer rentals. And in fact, you were busy with summer rentals because people are now exploring how can they get out of the city and really still enjoy their summer vacation. The news kind of runs contrary to that. I mean, do you think personally, right now the Spring Lake Beach is closed? Is Ocean Grove, the boardwalk, is the boardwalk in Ocean Grove closed, or is it still open? Do you know?
It's actually being reconstructed, so it's been closed.
Okay, so it's closed.
But we're gonna have a nice new, brand new boardwalk, in the summer, which is great. So,
I mean, what do you think is going to happen when people will be allowed to go back up and walk on the boardwalk? Have you heard anything, or?
what do you mean as far as?
Well, because we can't go on the boardwalk right now. The boardwalks are
Right.
closed.
Right. I think that's partly because, the reason why the boardwalks are closed is because we've had an influx of people, especially in our town, Spring Lake. I mean, our population doubles in the summer, and we're feeling that now because all the summer homes are full of these people from New York or Northern Jersey that have come down to their summer house. So, I think that's partly why they closed the boardwalk. It's just because we have so many more people.
Right. And it's not possible to maintain a safe social distance on the Spring Lake Boardwalk, especially because it is more narrow. And
Right.
people were walking in groups of 2 or 3, which it was impossible to have 6 feet between people. So,
Yeah. I mean, we had an instance where a woman came up to us at the boardwalk and was like very close. So,
right.
I think it's kind of a good thing that Mayor Norton decided to close the boardwalk.
I applaud her. I applaud
Yeah.
the council taking action and closing our boardwalk, because we do
Yeah.
have an older year-round population typically, and I was really worried for my neighbors more than anything else. Absolutely.
Yeah.
So,
And the beach is still open, which is great. So we can go down to the beach
right.
and breathe that fresh air. So
Right, which we need to do. So,
Yeah.
how are the agents in the office holding up? How are Jack Green Realty agents holding up right now?
We as managers, I try as a manager, and we just had our management meeting yesterday virtually, so that was kind of cool. But our goal is just to be there as a means of support for the agents. So we have had a couple deals that have fallen apart because of everything that's going on. So that makes it tough. We don't have a guaranteed income, so that's another issue. So I just am there as a positive force to try to keep us moving forward. And that's all I can do as a manager, really.
Well, let's talk about some of the things you are doing. So, for those of you that don't know me, my name is Gina Marcello, and my company is Marcello Media and Communications. I do a lot of corporate training, and I also work with a lot of agents to help them with their social media marketing. And I'm in the process of publishing a book called Social Media Marketing for Realtors. So Jen, I want to ask you, what are you doing right now with your social media marketing? Is it on hold? Are you doubling down on it? What are you doing for the office during this time to promote properties?
We just had our managers meeting yesterday, and we decided that we are going to be publishing more on social media than ever, and put our dollars into social media, because we figure everybody's at home online, so looking at their social media. So it's a nice time to kind of publicize what we're doing and our listings right now. So,
and how is it going? So you're using Facebook to do the targeted ads as well as Instagram?
Yeah.
And how's that going for you? Have you seen return on investment for that?
It's been going fantastic. We actually have a listing that's in Rumson that's beautiful, that has a boat dock. And we've had more showings than ever once we started to do the targeted marketing through Facebook. So it did work. And thank you, Gina, because Gina mentioned it and explains how it all works to us. And then we're like, wow, that's great. So it does work.
Good. I'm happy to hear that. See? Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So you're really taking this opportunity to, look at specific properties and promote them, because I guess I would argue that it's not happening for all the properties throughout New Jersey. I think there's clusters where people are doing well, and perhaps where we are in the Jersey Shore area, we're very fortunate that you're still busy, even though there are some deals that have fallen through, which is, unfortunate.
Yeah. And, but the deal, in particular, we had one bigger deal that fell apart in Asbury Park, but that was a very, it dealt with retail, and it was quite a big purchase. And so the investors that were invested in it just kind of got cold feet, which is understandable. I mean, things like that are going to happen in this market. And what you learn as a realtor is that you never count on your money until you have the check in hand. So
Right.
it's all part of the nature of the business.
Oh, I have a
So.
question here from Al Dukes. Al asked Jen, are any closings getting canceled during this time? Thanks, Al.
Hi, Al. So we haven't had any. Actually, we haven't had any closings that have canceled, but we have had one because we had an iron worker that was laid off, and then he got his job again. So the closing was held off by 3 days. But that's a normal situation. Closings don't always happen on time. So overall, they've been happening. We have two today, so that's fantastic. And they're closing on the date that the contract was, that was written on the
That
contract.
that
So.
is fantastic. And how is it
Mhm.
working out with like when you go to close, they have to do the title searching. How's it working with the title searchers? Because I know some of the is Monmouth County closed to the title searchers?
No, they're still, we use Trident Title, and they're up and running. They're working. They're doing their jobs. So, the only part that's a little bit difficult right now are getting the certificate of occupancies, which each individual town, like Asbury Park, for instance, has completely closed down. So they're not doing any inspections. So that would that would hold up a closing if you do have a mortgage.
Okay.
So, and that also holds up construction too, which has been kind of a pain. But
Yeah, let's talk specifically about Asbury, because I know you've been involved at the shore for a long time, including you own a property in Asbury as well.
Mhm.
There's been some concern from the local businesses about the fact that they can't open. Do you think that this time when the small businesses are being closed in Asbury, especially as it's really making its comeback, is this going to hurt? Do you think long term?
The beauty of having a business in Asbury is that you're already dealing with a seasonal business. So in the winter, you're not nearly as busy as you are in the summer. So I think, I predict that we're going to be up and running and healthy by the summer. So
Right.
I
Right.
think,
So, yeah, Aaron, hi, Aaron. Aaron asks, are you optimistic about the market after the virus and stay-at-home orders settle down? So, are you optimistic, Jen? Thanks, Aaron.
yeah. Hi, Aaron. I'm very optimistic about it. I think that this has taught us all how we can actually work from home. So I think that people are going to have a lot more flexibility as far as where they can live, because they're not having to commute
Let's
into the
talk
city.
about that for a second. So that's a really good point. Right now that we're in a situation where people are learning that they can work from home, people are still able to get work done. And if you look at the research, it actually shows remote workers are more productive than people that go into the office. I know for myself, I'm like working around the clock. I legitimately have to say to myself, you need to take a break, because I keep working. I don't know if you're in the same situation. It's hard when you're in your home and you're waking up and there's your computer. So I think you're right. I think this might actually have a larger positive impact, especially in Monmouth and Ocean County on the shore communities, because now people can live here and work from their house without having to worry for the commute into New York. Your thoughts are the same?
Oh, completely the same. I have one of my clients. He runs he's in tech, and he works for a pharmaceutical company that has 20,000 employees. So he's had to work at getting everybody online, and he and I had a discussion about it, and we both agree, like, this is just it's going to open up doors for people, because they're going to be able to work from home, and then they're going to be able to live where they want to live. So if they want to live at the beach, they can live at the beach, which is great.
Woo, right. It is really good. So do you know anybody maybe interested in listing their home? What would you say to them? Are people listing right now, Jen, or sort of have the listing stopped?
I think that there has been some hesitance in having people come to your home and, like, kind of look at your home and be in your home right now. But I would say, if you want to list your home, list it now, because everybody is bored. They're at home. They want to, they're combing Zillow or our website or whatever. And, it's
there's nothing new, right? There's nothing new. So do you think that violates the social distancing? Is it possible to list your house and still be responsible? Because New Jersey does have one of the higher rates in the country next to New York right now. I have another question from Al. Thanks, Al. Al asked, is it a buyer's or seller's market right now, Jen?
Well, it was a complete seller's market before this all happened. And I would say it's still a seller's market because I definitely have more buyers than I do sellers right now. And inventory is still very low. So again, list your home because it just takes that one buyer. So,
That's it, right? One buyer. And
yeah.
it's a really
Mm-hmm.
good point. People are home, and if you are actively looking for a property, you have time now. And I think part of the challenge, I've been talking to some people who are looking at purchasing homes, they're like, there's nothing new on the market. So
Right.
you're right. This might be actually a good time to list your property because not a lot of people are listing it and still maintaining
Yes.
social distance.
Oh, yeah, we have a whole protocol that to get the photographs done, we would just ask that you leave your home and we would use gloves and we would take the safety precautions that need be to get it up and running and get it on the internet.
Right.
And also, drone footage is important right now and any type of video is a good thing. So we're
So
also previewing homes for people if they want to see a home, but they can't get down here or they don't want to, social distancing, we will go through homes for people and take video.
you will.
Yes.
Oh,
as,
very
as
nice.
long as the homeowner is okay with it. So that's all, part of
Yeah.
it.
Wonderful. Well, I am so happy that you agreed to this interview, and I am really happy to hear that the realtors are still working, and that the rentals are still happening for the summer,
Yeah.
um, and that things are not terrible, not as terrible as you would think that they were from watching
No.
the news, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to interview you, because I think there's a lot of misperceptions about what's happening. And, we do look forward to having visitors in the summer. But right now, we need to maintain a close social distance. So I'm hopeful, as I think you're hopeful, that in the next couple of weeks, whether it's 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks, that'll still give us plenty of time for a very vibrant summer season. What do you
Yes.
think? Yeah.
Yes. I think so too. And I think people are going to be in the summer, they're going to be ready to get out of the city and just get away, but they're not going to be able to travel too far. So we're the perfect spot to be.
So if anybody's watching or that is watching this after our broadcast is over, if you would like to go to see some of the summer rentals that Jack Green Realty in Spring Lake has available, Jen, why don't you tell people that are watching and listening about your website with the summer rentals? Because I just thought this was fantastic what Jack Green is doing.
So the summer rentals can be a little bit difficult to maneuver online because Zillow is an international company and they don't necessarily deal with our local area. And summer rentals are very specific to our area. And also when you're trying to maneuver them online, it can be difficult to figure out, is this a monthly rate? Is it a
Right,
weekly rate? Or what have you. So
right,
we have a button on our website that you can click specifically for summer rentals and it'll show you all the summer rentals in the towns that you're looking for so that it makes it a lot easier. We do all the work for you. It makes it a little bit easier.
that is
And then
awesome.
if you want to, yeah, and if you want to contact any of our agents, we're all local experts. We know the area really well. We can tell you, as far as availability goes too with those summer rentals.
So I also want to encourage anyone watching, any other agent or broker in the tri-state area, anywhere else in New Jersey, if you are interested in being interviewed and sharing what's happening in your community, I would be so happy to interview you. I think it's important as we go through this time right now to really pull together as a community. And I want to thank Jen Grigg so much for her time right now. Before we end, I'm just going to ask, does anyone have any other questions? I really want to thank Aaron and Al for asking those questions. If anyone else is watching and they have a question, please put it in the Facebook question area. So let's see if anyone has any other questions. So it does not look like it, Jen, but I'm sure
Okay.
people have questions later. So if you have later, write them on the Facebook page. I'm Gina
Yes.
Marcello. Thank you so much for watching. Jen, thank you for
Thank you.
being available to interview, and I look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you, Gina. This is so much fun.
Okay,
All
bye.
right. Bye.
It's still live. Hold on.